What's the most satisfying way you've ruined someone's dreams? For me, it happened without yelling, without threats, and without anyone in the room realizing what I had done until it was already over. I worked in admissions at a private college, not a prestigious one, but expensive enough that people treated it like a golden ticket. Parents cried on the phone when their kids got in. Students talked about it like it was the beginning of the life they were owed. My job was simple. Review applications, verify documents, flag anything that did not line up. Most days were boring. Then I saw his name. I recognized it instantly. Not because he was famous, because 10 years earlier, he had been my high school guidance counselor. The man who smiled while telling me I was aiming too high. The man who suggested trade school because college might be a struggle for someone like you. The man who quietly rewrote my recommendation letter after I waived my right to read it. I only found out years later when a teacher felt guilty enough to tell me. He had written that I lacked focus, that I was emotionally reactive, that I did well academically but might not handle pressure. I was rejected from every school I applied to. He shook my hand at graduation and told my parents he was proud of me. I rebuilt anyway. Community college, transfer credits, nights working retail, eventually a master's degree, eventually that admissions job, and now his son's application sat on my desk. Same last name, same high school, same counselor listed. Him. I felt something tighten behind my ribs. Not anger, not excitement. Focus. The application was strong at first glance. Good grades, sports, volunteer work, a polished personal essay about ambition and legacy. I read it slowly, then I started checking details. Volunteer hours that did not match the organization's records. An internship supervisor who turned out to be a family friend. A leadership award that existed, but not in the year he claimed. Nothing dramatic, nothing that screamed fraud, just enough small inconsistencies to require a deeper review. I flagged it. That was my job. During the committee meeting, his file came up near the end. One of my colleagues smiled and said, "This kid's going places." I cleared my throat. "There are some verification issues," I said calmly. "Probably nothing, but we should request clarification." They nodded. Deferred decision. A week later, the clarification came in. Explanations that sounded reasonable if you wanted them to. Documents that answered questions without quite closing them. I could have let it go. Most people would have. Instead, I noticed the recommendation letter. Same tone, same phrases, even the same sentence structure I remembered from my own file. I pulled my archived records. There it was. My letter from 10 years ago. Different student name, same counselor, same language. He had reused it. I felt my mouth go dry. Plagiarism in recommendations is rare, but it is taken seriously. It suggests dishonesty, laziness, a lack of judgment. I added the comparison to the file, quietly. At the next meeting, no one smiled. The room was silent as they read. One person asked, "Is this confirmed?" I nodded. Same author, same phrasing, word for word in places. No one argued. The decision was unanimous. Denied. 2 weeks later, I got an email. Not from the son, from the counselor. He recognized my name. He wrote that there must be some mistake, that his son had worked his whole life for this, that this school was his dream. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. I kept it professional, brief, polite. I explained that the decision was final, that the committee had concerns about integrity in the application materials, that we wished his son the best elsewhere. I almost added more. I didn't. Months later, I ran into him at a conference. Older now, slower. Still smiling the same practiced smile. He looked at my badge, froze for half a second, then he laughed lightly. "Well, look at you." I smiled back. "Yes," I said. "Look at me." He asked how I liked my job. "I helped decide who's ready," I said. He nodded, still smiling, not realizing. I realized something then. I didn't ruin his son's dreams out of revenge. I ruined them because the man who crushed mine never thought his choices would come back around. He thought the quiet kid would disappear. The satisfying part wasn't the denial letter. It was the moment I understood that I had become the gate he never expected to stand in front of.